For USCFootball.com, I'm Keely Eure here with Dan Weber for instant analysis of USC's Tuesday practice of Notre Dame week. Now, Dan, let's start off with the news of the day. Clay Helton announced that Kedon Slovis will be USC's starting quarterback against Notre Dame, so USC definitely gets a boost there. But Dan, Kedon hasn't played in 4 weeks, essentially, if you don't count those 2 plays against Utah. What does USC get back with their quarterback, even though he's a little rusty at this point?
That's a good question. I think you get a kid that's confident. I mean, you got to admit, going to Notre Dame, basically, as you said, 2 plays in the last by the end of the week, be 4 weeks, and yet if you talk to him, he's just not rattled a bit. He doesn't even look like he's even thought about what it's going to be like in South Bend, other than it's going to be fun, historic rivalry. Yeah. He's just, stuff like that doesn't seem to bother him. How they handle that, how they call the game, what they expect of him against a really solid physical defense that exactly knows what it's doing, and one of the top couple of defenses in the country, and taking the ball away, yeah, and turnover margin and all of that. I think you just go with it and you just say, go get him, Kedon. We believe in you, we trust you, and just run everything you think you can run and not worry about the crowd. And I mean, it's a difficult challenge when you got people who are basically on campus all day Saturday. A lot of them been there Friday, and they're really ready. By the time it kicks off at 7:30 their time, they are plenty ready for the game, especially if it's USC. Yeah. So there is a sound level that probably is a little bit higher than anywhere else you're going to hear, other than a handful of places at the start of the USC Notre Dame game at night in South Bend. It's just, I know some of the people were talking about it who haven't been there. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe you're better off not thinking about it, not worrying about it, and just go out and play.
Yeah. I asked offensive coordinator Graham Harrell, how do you get a quarterback game ready when he's essentially not played in 4 weeks, especially when you're going through concussion protocol, where you're kind of limited with what you can do with him? And he said there's definitely going to be rust with Kedon. There's not really much you can do with that rust. It's just going to be there. He said Kedon's arm strength is something that kind of got weakened over the essential month. But then when we talked to Kedon Slovis, he thought it was his legs that he had to get back underneath him. But what do you take away from that differing opinion of what Kedon needs to get work on?
Yeah, I think they're both probably right. I think Graham kind of used the expression, maybe not quite as fit an arm, and it would be impossible, yeah, when you basically take off more than 3 weeks. And he did get to throw last week, which is a good thing, even though he hadn't been completely cleared, but he was cleared to throw the ball. Sure. But I think Kedon is right in that, and they put a lot of emphasis on getting your feet right, getting your legs right, getting your body turned and all of that in the right direction. And that's the kind of thing I think you do lose some ability to completely control that. So as Graham said, you got 4 days to get him ready. Yeah. I don't know how much they're going to get him ready on Friday. As Clay mentioned, that's a 4-hour plane flight. And all of that, and they're thinking about some of the things like Clay said. It's going to be 47, 48 degrees. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to be 74 Friday morning, and supposedly going down to as low as 41 on Saturday evening. So this is the day when winter kind of came through to South Bend. You always hope, for those of us in the Midwest, that if we go to Notre Dame games, this was always the last good weekend, and you always hope that it got through Saturday before the cold. And maybe we'll get lucky and it won't come in on Saturday. But it looks like Saturday's the big change day with the weather in South Bend.
Yeah, at least no rain as of right now on Saturday, so I'll take that. But as far as USC's bye week prepping for Notre Dame, you got to talk to wide receiver Michael Pittman about that. What do you have to say?
They haven't. He said he thought that the time to heal guys and get them right was more important than anything else they did. He also said he didn't want the bye week. He just wanted to keep playing, and he's better off. He feels for himself just to keep playing and not have that bye week. Now they're going to have 7 straight games, 7 straight weeks where they don't have a day off or game. They don't have a bye, and so he's going to get his wish. But but he did think that on balance, getting Amon-Ra St. Brown back and getting Kedon back and getting, I'm trying to think who else is completely, Talanoa back, right, and maybe Elijah Griffin, that on balance that's the better thing than having played last week.
Yeah. We'll get to injuries in a bit, but I got to talk to Marquez Stepp about what this Notre Dame game means to him. He's from Indiana, was committed to Notre Dame. I asked him, how many family members do you have coming to this game? And he said right now about 40. He's trying to barter with other teammates to get their guest tickets for his family members. So this is a big game for him, and he can't really hide. He tried to hide it, but he can't really hide that he grew up a Notre Dame fan. So this is a big moment for him to play in that stadium. And he looks like we'll get more opportunities just because of Vavae Malepeai is still kind of coming back from that knee injury that never really healed from the beginning of fall camp. So what do you expect as far as how the rotation or running back rotation will be spread out?
Well, I think they're seriously going to have Marquez on the field, because Clay did a couple of times say he's still behind the other two guys as far as catching the ball, but he's going to get his chance, and he's got to work his way through it, and he's just got to do it. And he referenced Ronald Jones as an example of a guy who he had to work his way through it and eventually learn to be able to catch the ball. Yeah. But if they're talking about Marquez and catching the ball, it probably means he's in the game plan pretty good for Saturday. I would think that means he's on the field when they're going to throw the ball, which is a good thing. You don't want them to basically say, well, if he's on the field, they're going to run it. Yeah. So I think that's important. So I think those little tips tell you. And let's face it, I mean, when he's gotten the chance, he's shown both quickness and speed to go with that 235 pounds. So, you know, what's not to like about having him on the field?
Yeah, without a doubt. Now, both Harrell and Helton gave a mini scouting report about Notre Dame. But, Dan, what do you see from this Notre Dame defense? What problems could they present for this Trojan offense?
Well, they get pressure on the quarterback. They're very physical, and they've got a secondary that USC coaches are talking about how well they support the guys up front, and how their physicality allows them to win the one-on-one battles, and they're always in the right place. So, you know, I mean, that's a whole lot of things to like. They're in the right place. They're physical. They support the guys up front, and the guys up front get good pressure on the quarterback. So that's a lot of things to like.
Yeah. With how physical this Notre Dame team is, especially how they played against Georgia, what do you expect from USC's offensive line? That's something that they've struggled with sometimes, especially Brett Nealon up front. What do you expect going forward?
I would like to see improvement over the Washington game, and they ran the ball for 212 yards against Washington. Fairly solid, physical, well-coached defense, and it didn't look like, without USC shooting itself in the foot, USC did not look like that they were handled by the Washington defense in any way. So you would have liked to see them say, we're going to build on this, and we're going to go into the Notre Dame. We're going to be physical. We're going to run it right at them if they give us the opportunity, and we're not going to play kind of afraid, or what are they going to do, or whatever. We're not make them adjust to USC, not USC adjust to them, and just say, look, we're good enough to run our offense on this Notre Dame defense, and I think that's the only way you can think about it. You just got to go in there and say, what they've said all year is, it's about us. It's not about them. It's about us executing and doing our job. The layoff, does it help them or not? I think we'll know. When we get there to Saturday night. But Notre Dame had kind of a warm-up game. It wasn't a bye week, but they played Bowling Green and shut them out, and whatever it was, 52-0. And so that's almost a perfect game to have the week before rather than a bye. So how USC handles the bye, I think will be really interesting. If they can come out and play error-free, I think USC would have a shot at almost anybody. Throw out the top, half dozen or so. If they can play error-free football, they've got a shot. But the two games that they've lost, they threw 6 interceptions. So you take away. Let's say you take away those 6 interceptions, I think USC's probably 5-0.
Yeah.
But you can't take away those 6 interceptions. And again, you can't have them Saturday night in South Bend.
No, definitely not. Now, as Dan kind of alluded to, the injuries, it seemed like most of the guys who took the rest off returned. Still waiting on Jacob Lichtenstein and Andrew Voorhees. Did we get an update on Andrew Voorhees? I know we were told we were. I don't think we did.
I mean, he came in carrying his white because it's it's a road game.
Yeah.
The offense wears their white jerseys, and I was thinking, I wonder if that ought to be a red shirt that he's carrying, because I just have this sense that if you're not coming back after the bye week for Notre Dame, I'm not sure if you're coming back. I thought, as much as Clay said they thought they'd make the decision, just the very fact that he walked out just carrying his jersey and not in any pads and all that, probably can think that maybe they did make the decision. We just didn't get around to asking Clay, but he certainly doesn't seem like he's in the mix at all right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a positive improvement in that front. Josh Follow was not dressed out. He's still dealing with that MCL sprain. It looks like Jude Wolfe will get more time there. What do you expect from him? And we haven't seen much of him, if at all, so far this season.
I guess you expect him to do maybe something that Notre Dame hasn't seen and doesn't know what he can do. I would think Eric Kromenoke is going to get a lot of work, and but you can sneak Jude in and maybe have him run a seam route or something like that, and where they're really not focused on him at all. And who knows? Every once in a while that happens. Probably not as good a chance against as sound a defense as Notre Dame's got, but. It would be so hard to even begin to guess how that's going to go.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Dan, before we wrap it up here on a Tuesday?
Well, I think this is my 19th USC Notre Dame game, and I just it may be the lowest key USC Notre Dame week that I can ever remember. That they're just not. There's usually a buzz now.
What about last year, though? Last year was pretty low-key as well.
Well, it was so low-key it had to go up because Notre Dame was trying to, go to the playoffs. And at least that game, USC did have a different game plan, and they were going to come out and throw the ball. And that was a little exciting for those of us who thought they should have been throwing it like that all year. So there was at least that. This year, it's the bye week, instead of kind of being that, like Notre Dame had a bye week 2 years ago, and they really used it well, and they were so ready for USC, whereas you don't have quite the same feeling that USC has used this bye week to get super ready for Notre Dame. And I'm not even sure what that would mean, but it's kind of low-key. I mean, the good news is the USC band practices right next door, and if you're around before practice where the team's coming out and the band's coming over, you get lucky and you run into Dr. Art Bartner in his 50th year.
Yep.
And he is fired up. They take the whole band, of course, every other year to South Bend and Chicago first. And it's always good to see Dr. Art. He is so fired up about, everything. So that makes you always feel good. And the band's fired up.
True. It's his last time in South Bend, which will be crazy for him. And congrats to him on a great career there. But we didn't hear any crowd noise. I don't think we did as far as practice, which is odd just because we heard it for UW week, but I feel like Notre Dame's a little bit more intense in that sense.
I was a little surprised. Maybe they lost the cord or something. I don't know what happened there. Maybe they decide, it's probably not the most important thing to do. And I would not advise, for example, teams used to play the USC fight song to get ready for USC and all. I always thought that was a loser's gambit to play the USC fight song. You just, as far as I'm concerned, you don't want to be playing the other team's fight song and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't think we got an answer as to what happened to the crowd noise, but you just got to go up and play and forget about the crowd. So maybe that's it. They're talking about, we're not worried about, it's going to be fun and the atmosphere, we're not worried about it at all. So maybe the crowd noise makes you worry or think about it, and they're just not going to do it. But that was interesting today.
We'll see if that happens tomorrow. But that's going to wrap it up for Tuesday's practice of Notre Dame week. For Dan Weber, I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out uscfootball.com.